my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in logical order. Text processing is going to take our knowledge of strings to a whole new level. Back when I was consulting, my first client was a newspaper in Milwaukee. They were in the process of moving from lead-based typesetting to producing their entire paper on the newly invented Apple MacIntosh computers and laser printers. It's a while back. The paper specialized in legal news and construction news. The legal news included listing mortgages and deeds, death notices, marriage notices, bankruptcies, and more. Reporters were sent to the courthouse daily to collect all this information. In fact, at the time, they used one of the first laptops, this RadioShack Model 100 computer, just like this one right here. This is one of the first ones. Still works, too. All the information was collected was text. And my job was to pull these text files and arrange the data into a common format. That meant formatting zip codes, adding commas where needed, formatting names, basically doing a lot of text manipulation. At the time, we were using the BASIC programming language. Might have been Microsoft's Quick Basic if memory serves. Not sure. But no matter what the language, all those text manipulation tools are available on all languages today. In C#, we're going to start learning them by examining the char or character data type, CHAR. We'll later move on to string manipulation. C# is a rich collection of tools to make all this happen. But with this next video, let's look at char. Okay, welcome to text processing. Up to now, we've been using strings. We've been bringing in text through files and through input boxes, text boxes, things of that nature. But we haven't done much manipulation of the text. And it's a really big part of all programming languages, actually, where you can start manipulating the text and doing things you need to do with them. What can you do with them? Well, we'll take a look at some of that stuff and see. It's going to involve some things. Some processing tasks require that you manipulate strings at the detail level. C# and the .NET framework provide tools that let you work with individual characters and sets of characters with strings, as you can see on the screen right here. Let's take a look at that. Take this right now. This is a website, or a picture of a website of the Formula One schedule 2024 for Formula One racing, Grand Prix racing. What if you wanted to create a notepad or a small calendar that just lists the dates and the race? In other words, February 29th to the 2nd of March, Bahrain, Formula One Bahrain, and so on online. Pick that up, then get to this one here, 0709 for March, Saudi Arabia, and so on online. And keep on going there until you had a nice concise list that you could print out on a piece of paper and list it. This is what you'd be looking at, is something like this, HTML documents as you go into that. I have a notepad of this. And that notepad looks like this. It's actually kind of extensive. If you want to just check this out, I'm looking at the very bottom of the file. But if you go up and through this thing, there's a lot of junk in here. And what you'd like to be able to get is, here's Formula One Heineken Dutch Grand Prix 2024 sitting right in here. We'd like to extract that. We'd also like to get the dates on here. And it looks like we got a date here of the 8th of August 23rd and August 25th. Looks like it's when it's been scheduled. Well, how do you just grab just that stuff and leave all the rest out? You do it with text processing. I've never done this to this particular thing. I'm not going to do it now. We may do this thing down the road. I'd like to kind of show you how this is all done, because there's a lot of hacking. And but frankly, it's probably easier to just type it in and look at the website and start typing it in. But there are things like this where you can actually grab the data and pull it off websites and extract it so you can use it for your purposes. And that's what we want to get to. So by being able to grab the HTML and extract just the characters and letters is what we really need to do on this thing. Another example, take a look at passwords. What if you were setting up a program that you wanted to be password protected and you wanted them to have a strong password? So you'd like a mixture of capital letters, small letters, and non-letter characters. You want to be able to tell that the person put in at least one non-letter character and at least one capital perhaps, and the rest small. You have to go through this thing and check each one of these characters separately in order to make sure that the person did that and they actually fulfill that requirement for your particular program. We'll try this down the road too and make it look. How do you do that? Well, enter the character data type. Up to now, we've been using integers, doubles, strings. There's another another data type called the character. Actually, a lot of data types, but the character data type is single characters. It's a little different, but it's very, very closely related to the string. Let's take a look. If we look at the character data type, is used to store individual characters. Characters, literals, are enclosed in a single quotation mark. It's important to think of this thing right here. And do not confuse string literals with which even including a single character are enclosed in double quotes. So this is a character data type right here, and this is a string data type right here. Notice the single quotes, notice the double quotes. So if I ended up creating a character letter right here, a character data type, and then put in the letter G into it, I'd be putting in a quote, G quote, and this would store just a single letter, G. That's why I like to put a CHR letter or something like that, an STR letter for string, so I know what these variables are when I actually work with these things. If I were going to put in the letter double quotes G, I'd be actually putting in a string variable in here, so it'd be different than that. How different? Well, let's take a look. When you start looking at individual characters, and you look at a string, like string name here, we have Daffy. Strings are really arrays. They're arrays of characters. They start with the 0 character, 1, 2, 3, 4, going across the line, and they have a length on them, just like an array does. And the character is going to look at one single thing and grab it down here and keep it. It won't have anything larger than that, just the one character. So that's where the character differs from the string. A string can have multiple ones, but it's still composed. In fact, a string is an array of characters. So you've got the string, which is a bunch, the character, which is a single letter, or period, or exclamation point, or some kind of ASCII code of some kind. You can access individual characters in a string using subscript notation, like an array of characters. Subscript 0 refers to the first character in the string in a string of length n, depending how long it is. The last character, n minus 1. Go back one. So let's go take a look here. And if you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a string of 5, starting with 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So y is the 5th character in the string, but it's index 4. D is the first character in the string, index of 0. Subscripts provide read-only access to characters. You cannot change the value of a character through the subscript, but there are ways you can change the characters. For example, use a for each loop to retrieve each character in a string. You can use this little for each character letter in name. It's going to print on a message box with the individual piece in there. Let's take a look at this. This is a little program I've written to kind of examine this, and let's take a look. So we'll put this thing together. So let's take a look. What I've got in front of me right now is this particular form. I've created a form with enter the string, enter an integer, character found, a couple buttons here. We've got a text box here. We've got a text box here to enter an integer, and we've got a character found, which is going to be a label popping in here. We've named these. This is text input. This is text integer. This is LBL character, and this is button find character and button exit, as we've always had in the past. So let's go ahead and put this thing together and see how we can actually make this thing work. I'd like to enter a string here of some kind, and then put in the integer of where in that string I would like to examine the character, and then bring that character forward here. That's really what I'm trying to do here. So let's go ahead and do this. The first thing I'm going to code is the exit button. So I'll double click on this, and we'll put in here close form, and this dot close. And we're all set there. Now I'm going to go to the very, very top up here where the partial form is, and I'm going to create my global area. Like, let's put in global area. And we're going to put in a string called str something. And this will hold input from the text box. We've got an int called int pointer. And this will also hold input from the text box. We're also going to have a char. That's our new character type. Character, char character is what we're going to call it. And this will hold the character. That's all we really need. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this form. We're going to enter things into the string and the integer here. And then we're going to go ahead and program this find character button here, which will place the character it found into this particular area here. So we're going to go ahead and do that by clicking the button find. And right here we have it. And we're going to say str something is equal to txt input dot text. Read text file. We don't need this output box here. And then let's go ahead and pop in int pointer is equal to int PRSC something, well, not something, txt integer dot text. This will read our integer. And then we're going to say chr character is dot text. I'm sorry, the chr character is equal to str something int pointer. And this is going to locate a character in string. And finally, lbl character dot text is going to be equal to chr character to string display character. So we're going to be reading the text file, bringing that text input into str something. We're then going to use our pointer, bring that in, so we're going to get a number, an integer here. We're going to then look at the particular letter in that string of string something here and put it into character, the character data type. And then we're going to take a character data type and display it on our screen. Notice I didn't put any checks in here. Obviously, if I could put in something beyond the range of the array, and it's going to blow up. So I want to keep it simple. We're just looking at the particular pieces in here. In the future, we'll start protecting this stuff as we go. Let's do a file save on this. And let's do a run. Up the program comes, and I can put in Daffy D D-U-C-K. Daffy D duck is popping in here. I'd like to look at something, so I'm going to put in a 0 in here, and I'm going to find the character. And it finds a capital D. If I made this a 1 and did a find character, it would find an A from the F right here. If I put in a 2, it's going to find an F. If I go all the way out here, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a space right in here. If I pop that in here, it's going to find a blank, nothing. You know, that's just simply gone. If I go ahead and put a 15 in here, our program is going to blow up. And it does. It crashes because it's out of the range of the array that I've actually had. We want to use a try catch to make sure we're not going beyond the length of our string. And we do have that ability to know how long that string is based on its length. So that's what that thing looks like. So now that we know how this works, we've seen the Daffy thing come through here and everything else and finding characters. There's other things we can do with strings and characters and things like that. We can do conversions of case. A character case conversion method. We can do a char dot to lower ch. So this argument is the argument's the character, and the return method is to lower the case equivalent of ch. So it can take a capital D and make it a small d. It can take a capital A and make it a small a. If it takes a period, it won't change it. It'll just ignore it and not convert the case on there. Same thing with upper. We can go character to upper and put in the code here, and it will return the uppercase of that. If the character in question is already a desired case, it returns unchanged. So if it already is a capital and we try to make it upper, it's going to remain upper. It won't hurt it at all. We can try that with this particular program here. So let's give this thing a shot. I'm going to take our existing program right here and kind of make some subtle changes to it. I'm going to probably widen the form a bit here. And then I'm going to make this a copy. I'm going to do a Control-C on it and do a Control-V and put one over here, and then I'm going to put one over here. No, I'm going to put them right here. Just to kind of rearrange these things. Go ahead and let's make them all smaller. Well, let's name them first. I'm going to grab this guy and make it upper. I'm going to make this one lower. Let's go ahead and make us a little bit smaller, and then let's go ahead and tighten all these guys up by formatting, making them the same size, and then aligning their top, and formatting the vertical space is going to be made equal. Whoa, wrong one. Undo that. Horizontal spacing is going to be made equal. And then we're going to center it on the form. And there we go. We got our buttons down here. I've got 2 more buttons on in place. And what I'd like to do, I'm going to make this thing button upper. So we're going to say button BTN upper. And this is going to be button lower. BTN OWER. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the uppercase button right here, and I'm going to put some code in here. So we'll go ahead and create that. And what this is going to do, it's going to take what's in the character button that I'm displaying, that D or that I or that blank or whatever, and it's going to convert it to uppercase. Now all I need to do here is I have to say that my CHR character is equal to CHAR dot to upper CH character. And this is going to convert to uppercase. And then I'm going to display it. And we can use this one right here and just pop it in there. I'm then going to go to my design. I'm going to click on the lower. And here I'm going to say CHR character is equal to CHAR dot to lower and CHR character. And it's going to convert to lowercase. And is the label still held there? Yeah, it does. Okay, we can pop that label thing in there and we're set to go here. So this is all I need to convert those things to upper and lowercase. We'll do a file save on this. Do a start. Our program goes up and we'll use Daffy D duck right here. And we'll grab an integer and then put the 0 in there and let's do the character found is going to be a D. Let's convert this to lowercase. Clicking on this, it now displays a D in there. Click at the uppercase, it can go back and forth. So I can do that very easily. I can change this to, let's see, a 4 is going to give us the Y in Daffy, and I convert that to uppercase very easily. Lowercase, fine, works great. I can use a 5 in here to get that space right after Daffy. Find the character, it's blank. Upper and lowercase will work. They won't do anything, but they won't crash. They'll actually ignore the fact that I can't make an uppercase blank. It's either going to be blank or not going to be blank. That's period. That's it. So that's all you need to do for that thing. So upper and lower case worked very, very nicely here. Let's close this off. So that's how you convert to upper and lower case. Now, there's a whole slew of other methods we can actually use to make this work. We have other character testing methods. We can check to see if it's a digit. We can do it a couple of different ways. We can say character is digit by the character or by the string and the index it's on. We can be looking at Daffy and actually put in Daffy or a string name and an index number to find it. Or we can use the character itself that we actually pulled. And then we can check to see if it's 0 to 9. Is digit? Is it a 0 through a 9? Same thing with is a letter. Is it A through Z, small and lowercase? Is it a letter or a digit? Is it A through Z, capital or lowercase, or 0 through 9? It'll check those things. It'll ignore exclamation points, question mark, period, space, and all the other weird characters that are sitting out in the ASCII set. So that's what this thing actually does. You can check it out like this. We have str string, str equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If character is digit, string 0, show true. Just looking at the string value of that. You're also looking at it there, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If character is digit string 0, we're looking at it with the 0 here rather than the braces around it. Same thing. And you can also look from the character. Is the character is letter string 0, and we can again look at it and see that it is true there. So a couple different ways you can actually do this kind of thing. And we can pop this into our program by creating something like this and adding maybe these buttons right here and then having some output that's going to show us this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm modifying this form a bit by adding is the character a digit, is the character a letter, is the character a letter or a digit, so we can actually interrogate this thing right here in code and give us a yes or no answer on the side here. We're also giving a clear button that's going to clear all our stuff off and make it all work. We name these things, so we're going to name this particular thing, the clear button is going to be named button clear. The is character a digit is going to be button digit. Is character a letter, button letter. And is character a letter or a digit, button letter or digit. And we have these outputs, LBL digit, LBL letter, and LBL letter or digit to actually give us that response we're actually looking for. So we put these things in place right here to make it look. Now let's write the code for this thing. In order to write the code, we're going to look at the clear button first and see what we need to do there. So we'll jump into the clear button. And all the clear button is going to do is going to basically take the text box and the labels and blank them out for us. So we'll simply say txt input dot text is equal to quote quote, and txt integer dot text is equal to quote, quote. LBL character dot text is going to be equal to, quote, quote. LBL digit dot text is going to be equal to, quotes. LBL letter dot text is going to be equal to, quote. And LBL letter or digit dot text is going to be equal to, quote, quote. So that'll clear us off. That'll clear out our label and make all that stuff work. So let's look at our form again. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our is the character a digit. So we'll jump into the is character a digit piece here, and we'll ask it the interrogation question. If char dot is digit and chr character, we want to be able to say LBL digit dot text is equal to yes. And we drop down here, else LBL digit dot text is equal to no. And that's all we need to say. We then can jump up to our is character a letter and ask it the same question. If char dot is letter, LBL letter dot text is equal to yes. Drop down here, else LBL letter dot text is equal to no. And finally, we jump to is the character a letter or a digit. If char dot is letter or digit, LBL letter or digit dot text is equal to why yes, else LBL letter or digit dot text is equal to no. And that's all it takes. Do a file save, and let's run this thing. Take our Daffy D Duck again, and we can look at the first character, bring it up, and it's a capital D. We can do lowercase on it, uppercase on it, whatever you do. Is it a digit? No, it's not a digit. Is it a letter? Yes, it is. Is it a character or digit? Yes, it is. So it gives us that kind of equality on there. Can I turn this thing? I think we can clear it off. We're clearing everything off here. We can do Daffy D D-U-C-K, and we can look at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7 is the period. Let's go ahead and do this thing and find it. It did find the period. We can upper or lowercase it. It won't do anything to us. Is it a digit? No, it's not. Is it a letter? No, it's not. Is it a letter or a digit? No, it's not. So we know what it is based on these kinds of questions that we can actually ask it. We can look at the space right after it. So let's look at 8 and do a character. It finds the space here. You see no period here. Is it a digit? No. Is it a letter? No. Is it a letter? No. I can, these can be wiped out if I needed to. And let's look at the A, the 1. And we can convert it to uppercase very easily, or make it lowercase. Is it a digit? No. Is it a letter? Yes, it is. Is it a letter or digit? Yes, it is. So that's how that thing works. Okay, so we see how that works. Our digit, our letter, and the letter digit works very nice. We're going to create a little more to this thing, because we can also test for punctuation marks. We can look at character is punctuation. Check to see if it's a punctuation mark. We can check if we can do it either way, by looking at the index or the character. We can also look for white space or spaces in there and find out if they're there. Think back to that HTML diagram I showed you a little bit, that chart, that HTML document I showed you a little while ago. If you could pull out things that are not letters and digits, you can get rid of all that stuff that you've got there and just be stuck with the stuff you want to grab and be able to pull it that way. It might take a couple passes, but you can work on this, and you can look at that and not make it a confusing mess when you're starting to go through that program. But this is how we can look for the punctuation, the white space, and so on down the line. So it's going to check that. Here's a good example how that works. We've got a string here called hello, exclamation point on the end of it. If character is punctuation, say true. We're looking at the fifth character, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're looking at that exclamation point, and it's going to show true. in the message box. Here we're looking at it this way, and we're looking at it this way as well. So you're looking at different ways you can actually look at it from the standpoint of the character. And I'm looking at the character itself straight through. And we're going to do that right here by adding these two buttons to our program that we have out there. So let's go ahead and do that real quickly. I've got two more buttons here. I've got a button punctuation and a button white space. And I've got a label punctuation and a label white space. They're going to work the same way as these guys up here. They're going to give us a yes or no answer after it checks this particular thing. All we need to do is write the code for these particular things right here. So I'm going to go into the punctuation button by double clicking on it, and up it comes. And I'll be able to write this code now. Same thing as we did before. If char dot is punctuation and the character, and then it becomes an if statement. LBL punctuation dot text is equal to yes. Drop down, else LBL punctuation dot text is equal to no. And we can go into our white space routine and ask the same question here. If char dot is white space, then our LBL white space dot text is equal to yes, else LBL white space dot text is equal to no. And that's all there is to it. Do a file save on this, run it. Now let's look at our Daffy Duck. And let's look at item number 0 again. Character found is a D. Upper and lowercase worked just fine. If I wanted to change it, I could. Is it a digit? No, it's not. Is it a letter? Yes, it is. Is it a letter or a digit? Yes, it is. Is it punctuation? No, it's not. Is it white space? No, it's not. Interesting. Let's go to 5, which happens to be the space in between the Daffy and D. Find a character, upper and lowercase. Don't crash, because it doesn't care about that. Is it a digit? A character or a digit? No, it's not. Is it a character or a letter? No, it's not. Is it a letter or a digit? No, it's not. Is it character punctuation? No, it's not. Is it white space? Yes, it is. It is white space. So we just truck down through there. We can find that out very easily. How about the D? This is 5, 6, 7. Let's look at 7 here, the period after the D. And we'll find that, and we'll find the period here. Upper and lowercase, again, don't fail on us. Is it a digit? No. Is it a letter? No. No. Is it a character or letter? Digit? No. Is it punctuation? Yes, it is punctuation. Is it white space? No, it's not. So we can tell by using all of these little functions whether or not we've got white space, punctuation, letters, numbers, digits, whatever you want in our code. That's how that all works. So this little test kind of reveals to you all the little pieces you need to actually make this kind of thing work. You can also do lowercase checking. Is it lowercase or not? You can ask it that question. Is it uppercase? You can ask it that question. And you can use examples like this. Hello, is it lowercase in string 0? Is the H lowercase or not? It is lowercase. Yes, it is. Is it upper? It's we have a capital H there. Yes, it is. It's true. So you can ask those questions again with if statements to make all of this work. So the character data type is a data type that becomes kind of important when you're working with text processing. We're also going to look down the road, in fact, either the next video or the one after that, on how you can work with substrings, which is working with the string itself, but pieces of the string rather than the character itself, but substrings, maybe a couple letters in a string of some kind to make all that work. So we'll see all that happening, because remember, we have the string, which is simply an array of characters, and we have the character itself. So those are the things we're going to be covering next. So being able to process strings and be able to piece them apart, take them apart, is very, very important when you're working with any programming language, because text processing is quite big. It's used, you're constantly working with Word documents, Excel documents, all kinds of stuff like that. Even databases, you want to parse things down. We'll see that happen as well when we work with that kind of stuff. So that's a start by looking at the character data set. We'll look at substrings next. Now we've seen what char is, it might be a good idea to put a simple password creating app together. That way we can make good use of what we just learned. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. If you get a chance, please subscribe. That way, you'll be notified when something new is available. We'll see you next video. Take care.